The next concept is potential dividers for impulse voltage measurement. So generally resistive or capacitive are the combination of resistive and the capacitive dividers are used for the measurement of impulse voltages. High frequency or sometimes you're going with the impulse voltage for fast rising transient voltages are used. So this is what the circuit diagram or the schematic diagram, the Z1 and Z2. So Z1 is subjected to the high voltage side, Z2 is subjected to the low voltage side of the R, and there is a delay cable and connected to the CRO. So the low voltage arm of the divider usually connected to the fast recording oscilloscope. That is nothing but with the help of the delay cable to the CRO. In the high voltage dividers, each element has its own self resistance and reactance and the um, inductance as well. So in addition to that, resistive element have some residual inductance and a stray capacitance, and the ground capacitance also will exert because of there is a potential there is a larger potential variation across the Z1. So this equivalent circuit has been, we already discussed that is nothing but for the equivalent impedance that we are considering as a resistance which is in series with the inductance and a parallel combination of the capacitance that we discussed in the previous concept. So this is one of the general way of the circuit for the measurement of the impulse voltages. Then a capacitance potential dividers also has some equivalent circuit. That's what the CS, stay capacitance, and CG will be the terminal capacitance to the ground, that is nothing but ground capacitance. R will be equivalent leakage resistance and the reactance due to the dielectric loss in the element, that is nothing but the R and L value and the C value. So when we are connecting that step or the fast rising voltages which is applied to the high voltage terminal, the voltage developed across the secondary element, that is nothing but Z2, will not have the true waveform as that of the applied voltage, because it having some CG, CS, all the things, or sometimes even the long cable will introduce some sort of the errors will takes places in the CRO. So that thing we have to take into consideration. And also the cable can also be introduced the distortion in the waveform. That's what we know, discuss that the concept. The following elements may mainly constitute the different errors in the measurement. One is residual inductance in the element, but however it is an impedance, but in the impedance, if you are considering the pure resistance also, it having some sort of the inductance as well, that we have to take into consideration. The stray capacitance occurring between the two elements from section and the terminals of the elements to the ground, and from high voltage lead to the elements or the sections. So this will exert between the element sections and the section elements to the section to the elements and the ground. So CGCS, all the things will come into the picture. So there may be impedance errors due to the connecting leads between the divider and the test object, and there is an ground return leads and extraneous current in the ground leads, and because of the parasitic oscillation due to lead and the cable inductance and the capacitance of the high voltage terminals to the ground. So these are all the things will come into the picture. So resulting in there is a possibility errors may introduce into the system. That thing we have to take into consideration. Next one, resistance potential dividers, which you can see here. So Z1 and Z2 is replaced by say simple resistance R1 and R2. So this is the delay cable which you can consider a Z0 value, and there is the CRO, that is nothing but measuring instrument having the RM and the CM value. A simple resistance potential divider which is consists of two resistance. This is a R1 and the R2. So generally R1 is very large compared to that R2. Then the attenuation factor, which we know that A is equal to V1 by V2, So it can be written as 1 plus R1 by R2. The divider element of R2 in practice, which is connected with the help of the cable to the oscilloscope. So this will have a surge impedance, that is nothing but Z0. This will come in parallel with the oscilloscope input, that is RM and the CM. So generally RM will be greater than 1 mega ohm and CM will be of 10 to 50 picofarads. The ratio in the frequency of the domain, which is given as A is equal to, for the higher frequency, okay, the ratio of the frequency domain, which is given as A is equal to V1 by V2 is equal to 1 plus R1 by R1 divided by 1 plus of j omega R2 Cm. Okay, so after doing the simplification, we will get R1 into C1 is equal to R2 into Cm. So that we can see to that, to avoid the frequency of the dependency of the voltage ratio, that is nothing but A, the divisor is compensated by an additional capacitance. This is nothing but the C1 across the R1, because we need to make it that it is independent of the frequency of the variation. So maybe which we can get is R1 into C1 is equal to R2 into Cm, because secondary side which is subjected to the capacitance C2 is equal to Cm. Okay, and across the primary side, across the high voltage side, we don't have any frequency of the variation. So that's why we are considering that this is C1 which is parallel with respect to the R1. So this is the meaning of that. The time constant of the both arms should be remains the same. So this compensation is used for the construction of high voltage dividers and the probes with oscilloscopes. So usually the probes are made with adjustable value of the capacitance Cm, so that the value of the Cm can include any stray capacitance, including that of the cable. So typical high voltage probes with some 4 nanosecond rise time of a peak value of the 40 kV and having the input impedance of 100 mega ohm in parallel with the 2.7 picofarad, the output waveform for the compensation which is shown, the output of compensation which is shown at these figures. So whereas in case of the first one, that is nothing but overcompensated, that RC divider, when the C1 is too large, okay, we can consider it is overcompensated, while in the third one, that waveform, when the C1 is small or undercompensated, okay. So this is when it is critically compensative, then we can say it is incorrectly compensated. For the undercompensation, the charging time is too high, you can see to that, okay, and such exponential rise occurs, which is shown in the figures. So the schematic circuit of a compensated, which is shown here with the help of the R1 and the C1 values. So this is nothing but the schematic circuit of compensated oscilloscope 4, which is shown here. So considering that, we have to consider the sheet, because which is subjected to the very high values with voltage, and the arm should be R1 C1 is equal to R2 into Cm. That's why we are making with, there is a shielding, and this is a high voltage side and this is subjected to the low voltage side of the arm. Next one is potential dividers for high voltage impulse measurement. So in resistance potential dividers, that is nothing but R1 and R2 value are considered as small dimension in the previous sections. But for the voltage of 100 kV, R1 is no longer in smaller dimension, and usually it is made up of a number of the sections. Hence the divider is no longer a small resistor or a lumped parameters, but has to be considered an equivalent distributed network. Means earlier which we consider is in a lumped parameters, now we have to consider it is an distributed parameters. What will happens, the total resistance of the R1, okay, will be considered as n resistors of the value R1 dash. So the total value of the R value will become n into R1 dash. So here which you consider Cg is nothing but the ground capacitance of each resistor element R1 dash, and Cs is nothing but the stray capacitance between the terminals of each section, which you can see here, Cs value. So however, the inductance of each element, which is not shown in this figure, which is usually small compared to the other elements. So this type of the dividers will produce a non-linear voltage distribution along its length, and also act like an RC filter for the applied voltages. So the output of such waveform, which is shown here by the value of the variation of the Cg and the Cs, okay, for the step input waveform. So this is what the next modified one, which you can see to that. So Ch is nothing but the stray capacitance, which is introduced between the high voltage lead and the ground elements. So why we are introducing this is nothing but we can call it as a God ring. So another waveform. That's what we do. That's what the concept that we discussed in the case of the high voltage transmission lines for the linearization of the CH and the CG across the insulated disc. So this will reduce the distortion which is introduced by the original dividers, and this is the output for of this waveform. So generally, if this which is CH is introduced, so there is a possibility of the cancellation of the CG and the CH, and there is a distortion introduced by the original divider will be minimizes. So this is what we can call it as the concept of the potential dividers, which is used for high voltage impulse measurement. Next concept is capacitance voltage dividers. So these are the ideal for the measurement of fast rising voltages and the pulses. So the capacitance ratio, which is independent of the frequency, whereas in case of the capacitance voltage dividers, and their leakage resistance is high enough to be neglected. So usually the dividers which are connected to the source voltage with the help of the long leads, because we are considering it as a Z0 value, this will introduce a inductance and the residual resistance. That these values we have to take into consideration, otherwise there is the possibility of the introducing the errors. Then all the capacitance used for very high voltage work, these are not in small dimensions, and this cannot be considered as a lumped parameters because this will introduce the CS and the CG value. Therefore, the output divider for high frequency and the impulse, there is a distortion will take place in the resistive dividers. Capacitance voltage dividers. So this is the equivalent circuit, which you can see here, C1 and the C2, which are connected in series. C1 is subject to the high voltage side, C2 is subject to the low voltage side, and connected to the low voltage arm for the measurement. Then the ratio of the divider, which is given as A is equal to V1 by V2. So this is how we discussed for the resistance, which is act like the same. But in place of resistance, we are considering it as a capacitance. So 1 plus C2 by the C1. So C1, which is formed between the high voltage terminal of the source and that of the test, or any other point of the measurement. So generally CRO is located within the shield screen surrounding capacitance of the C2. So C2 includes the capacitance of the lead capacitance and the input capacitance of the CRO and other grounded capacitance like a CS and the CG value. The advantage of this connection is that the loading on the source is negligible because there is an isolation between the C1 and the C2. But if there is a small disturbance across the C2 of the high voltage electrode or presence of any other stray object, So there is a capacitance of the C1, hence the divider ratio, because it is subjected to that, it is a C1, C2 and the C1. So the ratio of the dividers will changes. So in many of the cases which we are using as standard air, or sometimes we are going with compressed gap capacitors which has a coaxial cylindrical structure. Accurate ratio that could be calculated up to of 1000:1 have been achieved for a maximum impulse voltage of around 350 kV, and the upper frequency limit is of 10 megahertz. This is the another type of a capacitance divider. So here C1 will be no longer in small dimension, hence we are considering number of the stages. So hence what will happen, we are considering that C1 is equal to n into C1 dash, that you can see here. So why we are considering is because ground capacitance and the stray capacitance which is connected, means the C1 is connected in series for the voltage V1. So here the voltage distribution along the capacitor chain is a non-linear structure because of this behavior of the Cg and the Cs value. Hence there is a distortion of the output voltage will takes places. But the ratio error is a constant, and which is independent of the frequency of the variation as compared to the resistance dividers. But the thing is, this kind of the dividers, you can see to that it is a 2C1 and which is a parallel with respect to by 3 of the Cg value and the C2. This is the approximate equivalent circuit of this distributed network. So this network can be used when C1 is very small compared to that C2, and the ground capacitance is very small compared to that C1. Then what will happen, the voltage ratio will become A is equal to V1 by V2, okay, 1 plus of C2 by C1 into 1 plus Cg divided by 6C1. This is nothing but this is the approximate equivalent when you are doing the derivation. Based on that you will get the voltage ratio. However, this ratio is a constant and will give us the errors which is less than the 5% when it is C1 is equal to a 3 times of the Cg value. So this is the quite satisfactory of the equivalent circuit which we can use it for the capacitance divider up to a 1 megahertz.